Wait a minute, this isn't the Castlevania. I want my money back! Hello everyone, my name is Maxas Wildborn and welcome to my first ever video game review. Today I'll be reviewing a fan-made game called Ponyvania Order of Equestria, created by Ziggylung. If the title didn't explain it, this is a crossover of My Little Pony and Castlevania. Konami owns copyrights to Castlevania, and the good folks at Hasbro own copyrights to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Let's begin. This game is currently in a demo stage. As of this recording, the latest version would be version 7, which was released July 22nd, 2013. This game is pretty unique in that it lets you create your own characters by selecting their gender, race, select from a collection of preset mane and tail styles based on their gender you've chosen, and you even get to color the mane and tail separate from your coat by using the designated RGB sliders of your choice. You may also select from a few preset cutie marks which features the main 6, an hourglass, sword, skull, and whatever that thing is. Or you can create your own cutie marks by using the custom cutie mark creator cleverly located beside the cute cutie mark selector, which is marked custom. Now they don't give you much room, but on a desktop pony sprite, they don't really give you much in the first place, so you'll have to limit your creativity to the canvas limits you're restricted to. You also have pre-selected colors to choose from, or you can use the RGB sliders to create your own color, which changes the final color selector. Once you're satisfied, press enter, and boom, you're in. There is a README included with the download, which I'm sneaking you the link down in the description. Don't tell anybody. And according to said README file, your starting stats changed based on your selections you have made for your pony. For example, stallions will have extra health, and mares will have extra MP. Also, the colors you choose will have an effect on the stats you start with. The effects of the color of your mane and tail stacks with the color effect of your coat. The more red you add, the stronger your character. More green grants you health, and blue makes you smarter for all your magic stuff. So all you red unicorns out there, you're doing it wrong. I suppose if you wanted the maximum stats available, you can have a completely white pony to play with, but that's not very creative, is it? Plus you'll look like a ghost. Also, you seem completely unable to change their eye color. What's up with that? And I forgot to mention that if you wish to play as one of the main 6, you must cursor over their respective mane and press attack or jump, which defaults to Z or X on your keyboard. Moving on to the 3 different types of races you have. Earth ponies, unicorns, and pegasausages. That's unicorn and pegasi if you didn't know. My OC Electronic Gaming is a dark gray earth pony stallion with a darker mane and tail. He also has deep blue eyes, which is ironically what I'm stuck with since I can't change his eye color. Also, that's an NES controller. Don't question it. Earth ponies like Electro are granted high starting stats and excel in the use of melee weapons. Like this whip that apparently Electro had in his home and decided to bring it when Celestia called him to do a service for harmony's sake. I didn't know he was into that sort of thing! Now using the whip, you can attack forward, upwards, diagonals, or you can pretend to have a really long tongue and flail that thing around and lick everything in sight. Now the whip isn't the only thing available, as later on you can find or even buy swords that can be swung like so. Or if you're feeling silly, you can duck and attack, you will slide, and this works for every race. Now Earth ponies have their own unique moves that separate them from the other 2 races, and it favors their preference for getting up close and personal to their enemies. You have this nice flying uppercut, a critical attack, which makes you pulse and it does additional damage to your enemies, and you have this nice dropkick that you can execute in the air, and you also have this defensive pose which looks funny but does the job. Bear in mind that all these abilities eat some MP, well, except the dropkick. And your MP will slowly regenerate over time, and collecting hearts increases your MP a little, much like Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow if you've played them. A Pegasus like the Pony Sona of one of my good pals Fantasy Flight are a bit quicker in terms of movement speed, and are generally a balanced race in terms of stats. You can even fly around by spamming the jump. You also have the ability to attack while moving, so unlike the other 2 races, you don't have to come to a complete stop in order to open up a can and poke you in the face with a stick until you die from it. You also have this nice jousting dash which propels you forward, smacking everything in your way, which seems to make you invulnerable, so you can use this move to get away from a tight squeeze. And like most of the RPG-like Castlevanias, you have a bat dash skill, but only Pegasi can use the skill, which is a bummer. Finally, the unicorns, which I could not even beat the game, as it's probably because of the controls, or maybe it's just my lack of skill. It's probably the latter. As you can guess, unicorns, like this none in particular one I threw together, rely on their magic skills instead of wailing down on enemies with the stick that you start the game with. Granted, one of their abilities, telekinesis, augments their melee attacks by extending the range of the attack, which isn't much considering your melee attacks are rubbish and they do not knock back or stun any enemies. Unicorns have a variety of spells from their abilities that do damage, and rely heavily on their MP stat, which can be drained quickly if you're spamming buttons and not hitting a thing. Along with their spells, unicorns have a few more abilities to make it a bit easier to use them, though all of their skills cost MP. Except telekinesis, which seems to be a passive ability. Levitate allows your unicorn to float over pits, pools, enemies, and whatever else you want, as long as you hold down the jump button while in the air. Since unicorns are the slowest of the lot, their levitation is just as fast, so you're slowly floating over all the things and your MP's taking a minor beating. So keep in mind, especially if you're in the middle of a fight when you're flinging spells around like crazy. Illusion, another one of your skills that makes you— what? No, seriously, what is that? And what does it really do? Make you invulnerable for a short while? I couldn't find a use for this spell except for maybe allow an enemy to pass through me while they're strolling by, but I never really used this spell except for maybe on an accident, as it requires you to double tap left or right and hit jump. Teleport, probably the most useful, will flash you a small distance away from where you previously was. This works in any direction, up, left, right, diagonal, damn it, oh fucking screw this. What's cool about this ability is that it has no cooldown, so you can flash yourself several times, even like this, to get to a chest just out of reach. Keep in mind that if you are hit in the air, you won't be able to cast teleport until you hit the ground and recover. That sucks. This spell is useful for getting past enemies or over obstacles, or to hopefully get you out of a sticky situation, but take a bath after that so your spouse doesn't complain to me about you swimming in smelly swamp water. That's just all that I can cover with the race's regard. Now I can move on to other things. This game offers 2-player co-op, but only locally. I would showcase this, but foreveralone.jpg. This game also has controller support, so while one of you face rolls on the keyboard, the other one can get mad and fling the controller at the wall because you never repaid him back the money for that pack of bubblegum you wasted when you were drunk. By the way, that wasn't bubblegum, it was a rubber dishwashing glove. How could you? Oh, and by the way, the gamepad is required to play multiplayer, so be nice. Moving on, if you play with 2 players, you can do what is called a dual crush skill, by pressing up in one of your skill buttons. The both of you must be near each other, not in the air, attacking or getting bent over and spanked, and also requires the both of you to have at least 75% of your maximum MP to use. This special move also consumes all your MP when you use it, so all you unicorns out there, use this at your own peril. Also, dual crushers are different depending on the races of your pony, so grab a buddy and check them all out. Also, before I move on, if you or your buddy dies, he, you, or she can be revived with 1 HP upon entering a new room, or you will be revived upon the use of Water of Life. I'll get more on that later on. If you are familiar with Castlevania games, especially ones for the DS, you may recognize the environments or even the title screen, as it plays very similarly to Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. It even shares the same gameplay elements, some, not all. The skills you can equip can be equipped in 3 different settings. Order of Ecclesia calls these settings glyph sleeves, where skill 1 and skill 2 can be switched out at the press of a button. The setting you currently have is located under your health and magic, of A, B, and C. I personally never use this as I forget, but if you're playing as a unicorn, I suggest to use these sleeves so you can switch your set of spells on point without having to swap them out in menus. Also, with 2 skills, you can also equip a passive ability. Each character starts with one, so it's recommended to equip it at the start. You can also find other passive abilities, like summon little familiars, like this little flying knight without eyeballs, a little cloud that zaps enemies and makes silly faces when you kill them, or a Philomena type phoenix that attacks alongside of you. Of course, there could be more of these abilities, so go jump in and find them. Below your skills is your equipment. This is where you can equip a weapon, an armor piece, and an accessory that gives you a stat bonus or perhaps the ability to see enemy HP on their name tags. Weapon, armor, and accessories can both be bought or found. Now first walking into this game, you won't have a shop to go to until you finish the first level, and then Celestia will tell you that a pony has moved in to sell some wares. She even tells you that he's offering a discount, but look at how much he wants for this shit. Seriously. Either you got to be lucky in your previous level, or you must have died several times and amassed a pile of bits as you continue to retry the level. You retain all your items, experience, and money on your death, and all boxes are refilled with random goodies. Unfortunately, when it comes to the shop, the only beneficial thing you can pick up is money, because you can't sell any of the things that you pick up. I hate that. You upgrade a new weapon, sweet, and you probably don't want it ever again, but too damn bad it's gonna fester in your inventory because cheap-ass filthy rich don't want to buy any of your replaced hardware, or anything else for that matter. Which sucks because look at all the damn prices of these things. If you never died on a level, how would you have this much cash? It's ridiculous. Now the shop does sell several things such as weapons of various types, armors, and accessories, as well as all the way at the bottom he sells you additional skills that you can equip. You probably won't be able to try all of these skills in one playthrough unless you plan on dying 20 times and farming the level for extra spending money, which brings me to another point. Once you complete a level, you can't go back to it, ever. You're forced to progress into the next level, and once you're into that next level, you can't go back to the tower to shop, save, or flirt with Luna. Luna. The only way to get back to the tower or castle or whatever this place is to beat the level's boss and collect the element of harmony and complete the level. And when you return to the castle, you have to do all of your shopping before you go to the next level, because guess what? You're stuck there until you beat it. Maybe this presents a scaling difficulty, since if you don't die, then you won't have a whole lot of money to spend on upgrades. So your next level is going to be considerably harder because you're restricted to only what you found or what you could afford. And again, with these prices. Now levels in general, I'm probably stealing words out of Equestria Gaming's mouth, but the levels are kind of blah. Enemies are kind of thrown in, and sometimes enemies pop out at you from out of nowhere. Whoa, shit! Now, not to mention, the most annoying knockback there is in a game. I'm probably just being picky, but this knockback has got me into a lot of trouble. And even out of trouble, okay. Now levels are divided into several sections, starting half, mini-boss, second half, and the level boss. The only current checkpoints for each level is the very beginning of it, and the room of the mini-boss. Like for instance, in the Everfree Forest, you fight your way through the first half, and then as a mini-boss you fight Alora Une. If you died at any point before or during the fight with Alora Une, you're shot all the way back to the beginning of that level. If you defeat Alora Une, you get a checkpoint. If you die at any point after that, even during the final boss of that level, you will return to the mini-boss room and resume your journey. There doesn't seem to be any lives in this game, so feel free to throw your life away since this seems to be the only way to farm money in this game. Bear in mind that if you're good enough at this game and manage to beat it without dying, then you are rewarded with some kind of arena. I don't know much about it myself because I'm so freaking... Oh my god, seriously! Ugh! Now during these levels you will often come across these boxes. No one tells you how to open it. There are button prompts in the game because there's one right here. Luna. Anyway, you press up on the... That's not how you open the chest. You press up. Good stallion. Fucking dumbass. These chests can contain a variety of items including weapons, armor, accessories, water of life, and food. Now let's talk about food, before the water of life. Food is automatically consumed upon collecting it. The amount healed is displayed in green. If you happen to be at full health, you will consume the food anyway, ultimately wasting it. I kinda wish it was more like collect the food and automatically use it when your health gets low, or use it manually in the item menu. Players could probably turn this off in the option if they prefer that kind of playstyle. That's just a pet peeve I have, because when I overfill my health I feel I wasted it, and I didn't get it full use out of it. Which doesn't leave me much of a choice because items are added to your inventory upon opening the box. The only other way of healing is using the water of life. This can be bought for, oh my god, your life savings, or found in a chest. You can only carry one of these, so if you happen to have one and you find another, pat yourself on the back because you missed an opportunity to top off your health and magic. By the previous statement alone, you already know what this item does. Use it in your menu by selecting item and then choosing yes or no at the prompt given. As mentioned earlier, this also revives your buddy if he or she has met a terrible fate while adventuring with you. Before moving on, there's one more thing I'd like to mention about dropped items. Fucking money. Money is dropped off candles, torches, enemies, and even in walls, and they mostly appear as a small coin. Now, walking over this coin does indeed add it to your total money, but you don't even get a confirmation that this is indeed what happened. No sound upon picking it up, no subtitle telling you how much you got, and the item just disappears when you walk over it. No twinkle or anything. Also, be quick in grabbing the coins as they disappear shortly after dropping, and I do mean shortly. Version 7 of this game has 3 levels: the Everfree Forest, Rocky Bottom Bog, and Cloudsdale, each with their own mini-bosses and final bosses, and each will reward you an element of harmony upon successfully completing the level. So far, Cloudsdale is my favorite and least favorite. I like the platforming you do in order to reach the high places. Now, playing as a Pegasus makes this very simple for you. If you fall off the level, the Muffin Mare herself will come to your rescue, quickly pulling you back to the platform you fell off of. The enemies here pose a good challenge, often petrifying you, making you spam buttons to bust out, or even being a douchebag and attacking you with unavoidable attacks. Stupid snipers. The only problem I have with this level is doing it as an earth pony. The uppercut move is all you have to gain altitude, and doing it multiple times while in the air is hard if not impossible. I kept falling short of getting to this ledge. I couldn't find any way to get over here, and I was tempted to just give up. Oh, why thank you. Why didn't you do that in the first place? Here, have a muffin. No, seriously, Ditsy Doo has your back. Ditsy? Ditsy! Shit! My final opinion about this game. It's promising, and it's one epic and nostalgic crossover for all the Castlevania fans out there. The familiar music and the environment makes it all really nostalgic game. And it does need its fixes, but it's hard to really complain as this game is still in its demo stages. I definitely look forward to the full release of this game. Again, if you want to play this demo, check out the link below, and while you're at it, check out this cool trailer that 2Snacks put together for this game. I've also included the link there as well. Thank you so much for watching, and please tell me how I did with my review, and perhaps I may do more in the future. This is Maxas Wildborn, signing out.